Welcome to your October Tarot and Oracle card reading. I'm Ethan, and in this empowering two-part reading, we'll uncover what you need to know right now for your growth and manifesting. Part 2 is your pick a card message, complete with your support crystal for the month. Let's begin. Welcome to part 1 of your reading, and for this part of the reading, I'm going to be working with the Ancient Italian Tarot. We're going to discover the major theme and where your power lies during this month. And the card of the month is Il Mondo, which is the world. So what I'm getting from this is there is something that you need to complete or you have completed. So there'll be two sides to this. We've just had an equinox, which is this kind of turning point in the year. Energies have shifted, right? So we're already now in October. I think we're all feeling it. We're very aware of this year is beginning to draw to a close. I'm sure there's been things you've been working on or that you know you need to work on. And you're being encouraged to complete the thing, to do what you promised yourself. So if there's something you've been putting off, something that you're behind on, this is a reminder. For some of you, I believe you have completed something important. It was an important stage, a step, something that is going to contribute towards possibly changing your life. So if there's anything you can think of that you know has that potential, this is your sign for you to actually get to work on completing that, especially as we kind of wind up this year. So it's a wrapping up energy. And like I said, it is a seasonal, so you've got the energy supporting you, whether you are going into autumn or to spring. The energies are supportive for change, but you have to take action. This is also about a growth cycle. So for some of you as well, you're taking the experience of either last month or the last few months, and as long as you're learning from any challenges you've experienced and using them towards something positive, then it was worth it, right? It's the energy of mastery with this card. You've achieved something, or that you know that you're going to achieve something, and that thing will honestly help you level up. If you have enjoyed this reading so far, could you please give it a thumbs up? And if you know anyone who could also benefit from this, could you please share it with them? I really appreciate it. Thank you. So next, I pulled 3 cards for you from the Thoth Tarot. I just want to quickly remind you that I will never DM you about personal readings or send you a message about that. So if you receive anything like that, it is not me. And your first card is the 9 of Discs, which is similar to 9 of Pentacles or 9 of Coins. And in this tarot, this card is very astrological. So this is Venus in Virgo. So what I'm getting from this card is smart work will pay off, right? So this card is very much about being clever with your time, being clever with what you're doing and how you're doing it. So I'm assuming you have, or you need to, research and really look into what you need to do, what steps there are to improve things in your physical world. So that could be financial, it could be career and work related, but it could also just be improving your home, improving things in your physical environment. And it's about being strategic, because that's the Virgo energy. So do what you love is another message of this card, because we've got Venus here. So for some of you, if you're caught between different things you could be doing, focusing on something you actually enjoy, that you're really feeling and enjoying the process, is going to be more helpful, and it's going to be more, it could be more prosperous for you and successful. And same of you, if you're looking for work or you're looking to change your financial situation, doing what you love, things you enjoy, things you're passionate about, is going to be more rewarding. There's definitely a potential with this card for increased success or wealth in your life. Again, you need to work with that Venus energy. It's not just about doing something because you've heard it as a way to make money. You need to be doing something you enjoy that will show in your work, and more people will be interested in what you're doing. So next we have got the Hermit. So this is actually a Virgo card as well. So you've got a lot of Virgo energy coming through. You don't need to be a Virgo to tap into this. So what this card usually means for me is about the Hermit or monk mode. So it's definitely something you need to really double down on. There's something you might need to disconnect a little bit from friends, social life, or what else is going on in the world right now that can distract you. Use your spare time wisely. So If there's something, a big project, you're like, I just don't have time, you're going to have to carve time. In fact, retreating a little bit from the outside world's chaos right now, and also a lot of the stuff I see online, all this kind of like making everyone fight amongst each other, is not helping you. So if you have been pulled into that, or if you're tempted, just back off a little bit. And definitely this month, you'll get your best work done and you'll actually make progress if you take your time away. So spending time, lock yourself into your room if you have to and spend an hour a day, right? That's just at least something will help you reach where you want to go. So this is also when we retract a little bit from the world or from work or worrying about things, we gain clarity. In fact, inspiration, if you look at his lantern, it's illuminating, it's bringing in the vision so you can see clearly what you need to do, where you need to go, what the next step is. That can come to you from just taking time away, and also it's an inspirational card, I feel, as well. So when we do sort of go into hermit mode and monk mode and retreat a little bit from doing or taking part in the outside world, the inspirations can come quicker and faster, and you might receive ideas or solutions. Okay, so you've got the Ace of Discs. So that's our second disc card, which relates to Earth, the physical world, can relate to money and finance. So this is a card of manifestation. So if you look at the wings, are not a reference to the element of air, but spirit. So if you think of like angel wings, and then this spiritual energy manifests as the physical coin or disc in the middle. And I feel that this is definitely a sign that you have the ability now to alter or change your world in some way. Some of you may experience manifestation of something that you've been trying to manifest for a long time. And it's all to do with how the spiritual becomes physical. So if you are struggling to manifest, then definitely focus on working with spiritual techniques and systems that will help you influence your reality and bring about something that you're trying to make happen in your life if you need to. I feel this is also about believing in your dreams, right? So that's the other side, the hidden, the spiritual side of things, is really having faith in what you're trying to make happen or what you want to happen in your life or something you're trying to bring through is going to really support it energetically to manifest physically and for you to be able to see that, especially with our completion card coming from the world. It's really supportive of manifestations. And your guidance for money and career this month comes from the Gold Dust Oracle. And you've got fresh start. It says, never fear, the end of something marks the start of something new. Begin again. So I feel this also ties in with your world card. And this is about the possibility of new prospects, of new avenues for you in your career should be explored. New opportunities may come to you as long as you've completed the previous stage. So wrap things up, complete things, do the tasks you know you need to do, and then once things are complete, you'll have a whole new thing to explore. It will open you up for other things that you want to do, and things that of course will help generate abundance, prosperity in your life. Okay, so next we've got a card from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle, and let's see what your ancestors have to say. So we've got the Great Teacher. This is about the teacher within, and that can be for your own wisdom that you have inside of you. It's also about our higher selves. So we all have that kind of inner master within us, and you're being told to really step into that energy and allow that to work through you. This card is also about learning lessons in life and making sure that you are extracting all that good stuff from it. So again, challenges, situations that come up, people behaving a certain way that disappointed you or let you down, those are lessons you need to learn from, and what you do with them is up to you. But as long as you are taking them on, you're learning, you're improving, you're growing, and you will raise your vibration. Another thing with this card is the dove for me is like a sign, and even though it represents spirit as well and other things like hope, I feel for you that there is definitely the ancestors and maybe just your guides are trying to bring through messages and signs to you. This can look completely different for different people. So you might be seeing angel numbers, Symbols, you can see the flower of life in the background. So signs, symbols, sacred geometry might be something that they're showing you. That might even point you in the direction for the next phase. Next, your guidance about manifesting comes from my little handmade oracle. And you've got thought patterns. So I think you need to watch your ruminating thoughts. So those are the thoughts that are kind of repeating a lot in your head throughout the day, or that you dwell a lot on. Now this can go either way. So if you're someone is doubting, worrying, perhaps, like I said, getting swept away with things, make things going on in your life, people that annoy you, work problems, stuff that's going on in the world, is it occupying your energy? Right? That's the question. And what you focus on is ultimately your choice. So this is a little wake-up call for all of you. What are you focusing on? Because that kind of repetitive energy starts to manifest. If you look at my not very great attempt at drawing a bee on a honeycomb there, because they're busy doing the same thing, they make a structure from that, right? The wax of the beehive becomes this physical thing. And if you keep doing the same things, you're just kind of staying in the energy, and you'll just see the same thing around you, and you're kind of stuck in it, I suppose, right? So try and reframe things or change the narrative. So if you're not happy with where you are, what's going on, or it seems like there isn't really any signs of change, then you're going to have to shift your mindset and see how that takes you, because reframing even the past or conclusions you've come to that could just be a creation of your ego or the mind, trying to reframe them will kind of release you a bit more and allow newer things to come in. So some symbols I notice in this reading are, the first one is wheat, which we see in the background of the Hermit card, and it also appears, throughout here we see the wheat in the wreath. So wheat for me is something to do with the harvest, again, either the manifestation or the achievement of something you've been working on will start to manifest. It can also represent rewards, because the wheat is the thing that we harvest after all that work, all that time we put into the field becomes manifest as the wheat. Sacred geometry, different symbols around here. We've got here, which is, I think it's the Platonic solid in the middle. There's a lot of geometric activity going on, stars, we've got the flower of life, and we've got this hexagonal geometry in the honeycomb. So again, look out for that symbol, look out for sacred geometry around you. You may already have been seeing it, but in terms of symbolism, to me, it can represent the divine plan and reminding you that there is a plan, there is a purpose, even if you can't see it right now, there is. And also, just like I said, watching out for signs. So if you're curious about any of the decks I've used so far, I've linked them in the description. Some of those links are affiliate links, so if you use them, it will help support me, and I do appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome to part 2, and this part of your reading will give you an additional personal message and a crystal to support you through the month ahead. And I'm using my personal handmade crystal oracle, and I can't show you the illustrations yet, but you will get the guidance that you need. So just take a moment now to tune in and allow your intuition to guide you to the card and the message that you need to hear at this time, and your crystal. Card 1, card 2, or card 3. And once you have chosen your card, see the video chapters in the bar to jump straight to your message. And if you need longer to choose your card, then you can pause the video now. If you picked card 1, then your crystal of the month is Amazonite, and your message is trust your sacred gifts. So you need to stop doubting yourself and your spiritual abilities or the practices you're doing. If you're not really fully feeling confident in embodying or doing what you're doing, it's time for you to do that. And you might be overthinking things. What I find with a lot of people when they're learning things or doing things is sometimes overthink things. But ultimately this card is about knowing that you have wisdom that is within your spirit, your soul. For some of you, it's an ancestral connection as well. And this doesn't come from experience. So this is the wisdom that comes from your soul, and that tends to be something that's inside of you. And trusting that when you're doing things, particularly spiritual practices, and knowing that you have this inner knowing and knowledge and it's coming through you, is what should give you that steady anchor that you need to trust what you're doing. So even if you're learning something and therefore it's coming through someone else's teachings or through a book, through classes, again, many of you will see this card come up when you're learning things like Reiki energy healing or just learning more about crystals. It's saying like, yeah, learn your stuff, but also trust yourself. You should have a feeling or knowing around working with crystals, working with whatever you're doing, and you need to lean into that, because that wisdom that comes from you and knowing that you can do this is going to give you the confidence you need to do it successfully. So the affirmation I want to give you is, it is safe for me to use my spiritual abilities and wisdom. And of course this taps into, I've talked a lot now about the witch wound. Many of us in past lives were told we weren't allowed to do this or that, or people kind of clamped down on certain spiritual practices or religions in the past. And that's left us with this feeling of doubt, or is it safe for me to do this? So just keep that in mind. Stop listening to the fear, don't listen to your ego, and trust yourself. And the benefits of working with Amazonite is that it is a healing crystal. It can also help heal you, and it's also about releasing fear. And it's a crystal, I think, of faith, having a faith in a spiritual thing that is behind all this that you're going through. So trusting and having faith in what you're doing. As a substitute, you could also work with a Lemurian seed crystal, lapis lazuli, or you can work with a smoky Amazonite if you've seen it with the little black pieces in them. That's also a great stone, particularly for clearing fear. And on the bottom of the deck, we had another card for you, which is Ruby. So the other message that's coming through for you this month is that you need to believe in yourself. So this ties in with the first card. So remember who you are. On some level, you've got the knowledge, the experience, you've either already got it because you learned it and you're just doubting yourself. Or like I said, some of you, it's something inside of you that could come from a past life. It could come from your ancestry, your lineage. And you're being encouraged, particularly by guides at this time, to believe in yourself. They want you to feel confident and powerful. Stop playing small. That's another thing that comes up with when this card comes up. And also don't compare yourself too much to other people. I think it's very easy, particularly in the online world, to see people and think, well, I'm not quite like there, I'm not that confident, or I'm not as proficient or know as much as this person. It's all a little bit of an illusion, right? Because you're not seeing everything about that person. You don't see the doubts, you don't see the struggles, you don't see the fact that, they're not always confident about everything they do either, but they're not going to put that on the internet. So just trust yourself more. And for some of you, you are being asked to step up this month, right? So no more sitting in the shadows. You're definitely being asked to, at least on a mental and emotional level, to get ready and prepare yourself to take a more prominent role in something. So leading could be something within your family. It could be in your social circle. It could be something spiritual, like taking some kind of responsibility in your spiritual practice might be needed. If you want more guidance, please see my other pick a card readings for other areas of your life as well. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know which card you picked, or if any part of this reading resonated with you the most. And if you're curious about the decks, my crystal books, links are in the description. And finally, don't forget to subscribe and hit bell notifications so that you never miss a reading from me. I'll see you then. If you picked card 2, then your crystal this month is aquamarine, and your message is keep your calm. So, we live in turbulent times. There's a lot of stuff going on. It seems to be pretty relentless lately, and we're being asked to make sure we're not getting swept up emotionally with things. It's okay to react and feel your emotions, but as long as you're not being caught in that tide of emotions where it's just interfering with things. Then there's also just things in your life, work, frustrations with work, people you're interacting with, whether that be in your real life or online. You're being asked not to react too quickly to these people, or to, it's tempting sometimes to give them some advice. So you're being asked to step back a little bit. And the other thing as well is decision makings on impulse or emotion are not recommended at this time. So just be careful throughout the month that you don't just do something without thinking it through carefully. We're being asked to calm the emotions. So sometimes I said, you can get swept away with things, or in the moment it seems like the right thing to do, and then later you might have some regrets. So think really carefully before you make any decisions. Don't be pressured into making decisions. Sometimes we're in a situation where we feel we have to make a choice quickly and we're just allowing someone to influence us. This is the card of our emotional body, so our emotions are very influenced by people around us, and it's not always a positive thing. So I'm also going to ask you this month to consider more relaxation techniques. If you get feeling stressed, worried, anxious about stuff in life, you're being guided now to spend some time, do some meditations on YouTube, listen to some calming music. If you can afford a massage, get a massage. If you can go to a calming, peaceful place in nature that makes you feel relaxed, then do it, because that's going to shift your whole energy. And then as your energy shifts, it will start to bleed into the rest of your life, and you'll start seeing things calm down. You won't feel as triggered by people or things as much because you carry that within you. Your calmness is inside of you. Also, I'd say those of you who do have family, children, anything like that, you being calm and steady in amongst everything that's going on is going to really help them. So if you can do it for them, if that needs to be your motivation, then make that your motivation. So the affirmation for you is, I am the calm within the storm. So try that if you need to. You can do it with the crystal, but you don't have to. And I recommend aquamarine this month for you as well, because it will help you tap into your inner strength. It's also a great stone for cooling anger. So if you're frustrated and angry with people, situations, the world. And it's a great stone for letting go, as a lot of water element stones are. But as a substitute, you could also work with blue lace agate. Blue calcite would work. And if you can get it, variscite is another nice one. So on the bottom of the deck, you had chrysocolla. And the message from this crystal was, be open to receiving. So what I'm sensing from you picking this card is there might be some resistance within you to something you want or something you deserve. In fact, a lot of problems we have are feelings of guilt or unworthiness that can stop you manifesting or just changing life situations. It can block you for relationships, finding even the work that you want, being just happy in your home or the area. All that gets blocked when we're not receiving things well and we're not fully open. Even if your mind says I am, if you're closed off emotionally, you're feeling on some level you might have limiting belief around worthiness. This is being brought up right now. Remember that you are worthy of everything you want, particularly if it improves your life, your well-being, or that of people around you. And another warning that is coming through from this crystal is some of you are over-giving. So that can be a problem a lot of people suffer from, where you're quite happy to help other people, give them your time, your energy, your emotional support, but you don't receive very well. So don't allow anyone to just take from you. Make sure you're looking after yourself, or you're not allowing anyone who's using you. Sometimes people will use people who are giving too much. They will see them as a source for themselves, but they're not giving back. So watch with overgiving and really think about yourself. If you want more guidance, then please see my other pick a card readings for other areas of your life. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So let me know which card you picked or which part of this reading most resonated with you. And if you're curious about the decks or my crystal books, then check those out. Finally, don't forget to subscribe and hit bell notifications so that you don't miss next month's reading. And I'll see you then. If you picked card 3, then your crystal of the month is black tourmaline. And your message is maintain your boundaries. So this is all about your energy, your time, and for some of you, it's your social battery. So think very mindfully about who you let in, how much of your energy you give to others, and when and how often that is, how you feel about that. Do people take a lot from your energy and leave you feeling drained? Are people making you feel like they're encroaching on your energy. You know, some people are pushy and some people will dominate a conversation socially. Just be aware of that and make sure that you're not allowing that to happen. You speak your mind, try to get your words in if you need to. So you are definitely also being asked to be more assertive with other people this month and clear with people. So if you feel someone has broken your boundaries or overstepped your boundaries, then you should say it. You should also be clear with yourself. You know, don't be talked or pressured into anything you don't want to do. And if you feel like something is draining and too much, step away. Just say whatever you have to get to look after your own energy. And definitely a thing about this would be your psychic protection. And as your boundaries are tested, you can also work energetically, as I'm sure you know if you know about my book, Psychic Protection Crystals. And you can do all types of psychic protection techniques to assist you as well. Because obviously if you're in a work environment or it's someone you have to deal with, then it's not always easy to step away from them. But just be very clear with people on your boundaries. Because if you're not clear on your boundaries, then other people are just gonna step right in and, you know, they don't really think about you in that sense. So you need to accept that it's really up to you now to say, okay, I need to go now, or you know what, might not see this person as much because they're a bit too much. So just remember, it's about your well-being and your spiritual and energetic health. So the affirmation you can use is, honor and respect myself by maintaining healthy boundaries. So remember, these boundaries are energetic, but they're also physical and emotional boundaries and mental boundaries as well. So the benefits of working with a black tourmaline crystal are, it is a great stone for psychic protection. Many empaths like to work with the stone or find it helpful. And it's also a good one for building those healthy boundaries that I talked about. But as alternatives, you don't have to work with the stone. You could also work with a hematite crystal, red jasper, or healer's gold if you can find it. And on the bottom of the deck, you also had tiger's eye. So this has got a little bit of red jasper in it, but it's mostly tiger's eye. So the message from the tiger's eye crystal for you as well is summon self-confidence. So me looking at the last card and this card does suggest possibly someone around you might be overbearing, or, I mean, you know, you might be dealing with someone who is a bit of a bully, you might not be. It could be someone who's just not really very nice to deal with. So if that is the situation, you really need to change your approach to this person and be very clear with them what is okay and what is not. If you need to remove yourself from the situation, then do so. But you definitely don't want to let someone to damage your confidence and self-belief. So on the other side of this, confidence is the main message of this card. It's always something that's coming up when we're doubting our abilities ourselves. And we just need to remember that confidence isn't born, it's a skill. Bear in mind, you know, take whatever steps you can to build up your confidence. And you need to remember that your ego fears change, and it also fears any kind of risk. So a lot of times when we're dealing with these confidence issues, we're hesitating about decisions in our life or things we want to do. We feel like, I don't know if I can handle it or do it. It's usually just the ego not wanting you to change where you're at because it fears the change and it's not a fan of risk. Because, you know, risks, it's true, sometimes things don't work out. But if you don't take any steps, you're not going to change anything. You'll never achieve anything, right? So the other message from this card is that you need to know that you are perfectly capable of doing what you need to do. So don't listen to anyone or your own mind talking you out of things. You are capable of doing things. You can get and do what you want. So if you want more guidance, please see my other pick a card readings for other areas of your life. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So please let me know which card you picked or which part of this reading most resonated with you. And if you're curious about the decks I've used today or my crystal books, then check the links in the description. And finally, don't forget to subscribe and hit bell notifications if you haven't already, so that you never miss a reading from me. And I'll see you next month.